Woe to you, O earth and sea, for the devil sends the beast with wrath, because he knows the time is short. Let him who hath understanding reckon the number of the beast, for it is a human number. Its number is 666.
Hello, welcome to the Freeman Perspective. I got an interesting show planned for you tonight. So let's start it with the phrase, he who controls the past controls the present. So who controls the past? Well, let's have a look at our world analogous to Disney World. So Disney World as a microcosm of the real world today. I must recognize that Walt Disney was a fine Freemason from Kansas. And Disney Co. is one of the top 5 corporations that control all media. But let's think about this now. Controlling the media, controlling what we think, what's programmed into our brains, and how we react to the world, how we see the world, how we want to think about the world is all generated through this box. Well, right now, today, 7 Jewish Americans, and they're Khazarian Jews, run the vast majority of U.S. television networks. So we have Gerald Levin, who is CEO and director of AOL Time Warner, who's, of course, their symbol is the eye in the pyramid and the eye of Ra. Then we have Michael Eisner. He's known as the devil there in Florida. He's chairman and CEO of the Walt Disney Corporation. And then Edgar Bronfman Sr., who is chairman of Seagrin Company Limited. Edgar Bronfman Jr., who is CEO of the Seagrin Company and Universal Studios. Summer Redstone, chairman of the Viacom. Dennis Dammerman, vice chairman of General Electric. And Peter Sharon, president of the News Corporation, which, of course, controls Fox and a number of other. So what I'm showing you here is that 7 people who claim Judaism as their religion are in control of all our media. So, but is it really the Jews? Does this really have something to do with the line of Abraham or the line of Shem? Or is there something deeper going on here that has to do with this symbol behind me, the Star of David? Well, let's look at Disney World, okay? Now, the FBI Special Agent E.E. Conroy contacted Disney as early as November of 1940 after several attempts by J. Edgar Hoover to get Disney to join the FBI. Now, the reasons that they wanted Disney for the FBI were stated in one of their own memos, saying that because of Mr. Disney's position as the foremost producer of cartoon films in the motion picture industry, and his prominence and wide acquaintanceship in the film production matters, it is believed that he can be of valuable assistance to the FBI office, and therefore it is my recommendation that he be approved as a SAC contact, which that is a service contract for the FBI. So now, this is just letting you know right off that the media is controlled. The media is telling you what to think and how to think. Now, of course, Walt Disney was a fine Freemason, and that probably had a lot to do with his position. And we're going to get into a little deeper with that and some more symbolism so that you guys can understand just how much they actually control. And I'm talking about the Freemasons. I actually sat at J. Edgar Hoover's desk at the Temple of the 33rd, Supreme Mother Council of the World in Washington, D.C. And I played around with his gold-plated phone, and I checked out his boxing gloves and all the stuff there. They had a lot of interesting things there at that temple. I highly recommend going there. If you're ever in D.C., the Temple of the 33rd is the first American public library. So right there, you know, controlling what information gets out to the people and how much they want to keep for themselves. But it's still a public library, so you can go there, visit all you like. They gave me the whole tour. It was pretty cool. But of course, they showed up with my grandfather's membership card, stamped dead. You probably can't see that. That's okay. Don't worry about it, Chuck. All right. So, you know, they brought out my grandfather's membership card to make sure I said who I was and that my family was all related to the Freemasons. And then they handed me these books, which I'm going to read you a little bit of tonight, Morals and Dogma, and the Glossary to Morals and Dogma, and of course my father's Worshipful Master Bible. So now, to consider Disney as a microcosm of our world, we look at Disney and everything there is beautiful and perfect and well-maintained and all made to be seemingly perfect, right? But you're not allowed to touch anything. You can't go anywhere. I used to get thrown out of Disney all the time because I'm a playful kid, and I would jump off the rides because I want to touch things. I want to play with things. You know, this is the stuff I'd like to do. I got all this cool stuff in front of me, and then I got Big Brother slapping me on the wrist telling me I can't touch it. Of course, Big Brother being Disney at this time, or Michael Eisner. And I'll tell you, there's some stories in Florida about Eisner that, you know, makes him out to be a sinister man. So now if you go to Disney and you start riding all those rides, it used to be that you got individual tickets for each ride, and you could go in there and then you have to give an e-ticket to get on, say, Space Mountain or something. But now it's all just one card. You got your Disney ID and you get right in. And you can ride whatever you like. But all of the rides at Disney World are sponsored by military-industrial corporations. And I'm beginning to believe military-industrial extraterrestrial corporations. We'll get more of that over the year. So if you go and you know, jump on the dinosaur ride that's telling you all about how oil is found and how the dinosaurs died to bring us oil, which of course we're learning that might not be true, this ride is sponsored by Exxon. So Exxon has a ride at Disney that shows you dinosaurs. And of course, Exxon's symbol is the double cross of the Templars, which is a Freemason symbol today. If you go on Space Mountain, now Space Mountain is sponsored by RCA, who is a head research and development for the military. And they make you your TVs and whatnot. And of course, everything that we get comes from the military first. So keep that in mind. All those cars you're driving around, those things are based off of the military, off of war machines. So Space Mountain, you get and you go ride your great little ride, and you get off the ride, and they take you down this little moving walkway, and along the way, you're shown what the future will be. And so you get to learn about having your television be your teacher, or having your they had these big hydroponic gardens growing in the kitchens. You know, we never did get the Jetsons kitchen, did we? Yeah, well, he who controls this, you're going to start to learn. So then finally, as you're exiting RCA Space Mountain, you will find that you yourself are on TV, much like I am today. And can you see how this is analogous to our world today, as these people are creating these rides, or what we call life, and we're not really allowed to control or touch any of it. We're not allowed to play with anything, and everything is controlled by an overlord that is unseen, very much like Disney. Well,